Today is October 29th and we're in Campbellton, Florida, and we're at, what's the name of this church?
First Baptist Church, Campbellton.
And this is the oldest Baptist church in Florida.
Right.
Is that correct?
That's right.
And I'm here with Ellis Christmas, my father, who's 87, and we're going to be taking a tour. We started here in Campbellton at First Baptist. So, Dad, where are we? What's the significance of this grave here?
Well, this particular layout here was my grandmother's brother, a fellow named Louis Pilcher, and he also married my grandmother's first cousin, a Christmas, that was raised in this area out here, Mr. Will Pilcher. They got this dated over there on the grave. I can't read it from here, but...
All right, I'll look at it and read it. So, this is what relation now?
He would have been my great uncle, Louis Pilcher.
This is your great uncle. So to Granny, what would his, to your mother, what relationship is he?
Well, his father would have been my dad's grandfather.
Okay. So this is Willie Pilcher. Hard to see. Willie Pilcher. He died in 1946. He was born in 1872. And he was married to a Delilah Christmas, who died in 1906. And then apparently he had a second wife who lived until 1952.
Yeah, second wife.
Kate Watford. So this would be your dad's uncle
And aunt, yeah.
and aunt, Willie Pilcher and Delilah Christmas Pilcher at Campbellton First Baptist. What year was that?
At 1941, Roy Acuff and his boys came down and played at this Campbellton High School, and a guy I worked for brought us over, me and his grandson, and we watched the show. Of course, Roy Acuff was very popular, and we loved his music.
We're at Damascus Baptist Church, which is just south of Graceville, Florida, and we're at the gravesite of John Thomas and Elizabeth Dill Pilcher. So, Dad, you want to tell us about them?
Well, John Thomas was my grandmother, Janetta Pilcher's brother. I think the youngest brother. My dad used to go see him, and your Uncle Al could talk about him. He lived in Panama City. He died in 1956, so you know he was recent as far as we're concerned with it, although it's over 50 years. And that's basically all. Now I think, I'm not sure, but there's a Tom Pilcher here who I believe was John's first cousin. But he's got a daughter buried at Ephesus. And I don't know the history. I think Tom Pilcher was somewhere in the family line of the uncle or the cousin. But they're kin. I can't tell you any more about them. But Uncle John, he was kind of a patriarch of the family. Daddy thought a whole lot of him.
You remember him?
I think I saw him, but I'm not positive. I was in the military, and you know, I didn't get a chance to get out and see. I think I did see him. But my dad thought a lot and talked a lot about Uncle John. Now, I think he worked with the post office. I'm not sure, but maybe a postmaster up in Campbellton at one time.
And he lived in Panama City when he passed?
In his latter days, yeah.
And now Al would know about this?
Yeah,
he remember?
Al would know about Uncle John. Because they'd go down there, he'd go down there with him. And see, these people go back into, before Gertrude was about, she was younger than, I'm trying to piece together the dates here. 1848, that's pretty close to when our great-grandfather Moses was born.
We're here at Union Hill Baptist Church, and this is north of Bonifay, Florida, up near Bethlehem actually. And here we are, Dad, if you want to tell who these folks are. This is Pilchers again. James and Mary. Now what relation do we have here with James and Mary?
Jim, we called him Jim. James Pilcher was Janetta, my daddy's mother's brother. He was my daddy's uncle. They called him Uncle Jim. That was his name. And he had this was my daddy's first cousin, Annie Lou. This was probably James W. Pilcher was a son.
Now, he died in 2000.
Yeah, I had his funeral here.
And do you remember Uncle Jim?
I do vaguely. He lived in this community, Bethlehem community. John, the last one we just left, was his baby brother over at Damascus.
Okay.
There. And his wife was a Howell. Bruce's, our cousin Bruce, his mother's first cousin. They were first cousins.
Gotcha.
There.
Now tell me what did this guy do? Do you remember? Was he a farmer?
The most I knew, he cut hair in the country, and I think he drove a school bus and farmed. There.
United Methodist Church, and this is south of Chipley, Florida. I'm gonna guess about 10 miles. World War II and Korea vet. Ellis Christmas, 87, October 2012. And we're on the cemetery tour today for the Christmas side of the family.
Got it?